Hello there. You've had a long day, haven't you? Now, let me tell you a story. A story that's soft, slow, and gentle. No drama, no noise, just small things, but enough to warm your heart. This journey begins with a tiny raindrop, and maybe, somewhere along the way, you'll find a part of yourself in it. So now, let your body relax, let your thoughts rest. Let's begin. High above, where clouds drift silently, a little cloud held hundreds of tiny raindrops. Each raindrop, a tiny life, waiting for its moment to fall to the world below. Among them was the smallest drop, light, clear, and a bit shy. It clung to the edge of the cloud, peeking nervously down at the vast, unknown earth. "I'm scared," it whispered. The mother cloud replied gently, "It's okay, my dear. Every raindrop has its own journey. Just fall, and you'll see the world is beautiful." The wind breezed by, cool and tender, like a soft caress. "Come on, little one," the wind said. "I'll take you part of the way." And so, without a sound, the tiny drop let go. It fell, slowly, softly, floating through the pale gray sky. At first, it felt fear, then wonder, then surrender. Surrounded by other drops also falling, the little drop realized every drop falls in its own way, but all are searching for where they belong. The wind carried it past branches and blades of grass below. It told stories of places it had visited, pine forests, spring meadows, calm lakes at sunset. The wind smiled. "The world isn't as scary as you think. It's just waiting for you to open your heart." The drop began to feel at ease. It closed its eyes, letting itself drift. And for the first time, it felt something magical. Freedom. In the distance, a yellow leaf was waiting, and so the gentle journey of the little raindrop had only just begun. The wind gently placed the drop onto a yellowing leaf, swaying softly on an old branch. It was no longer green, but golden, like a warm autumn blanket. Faded, yes, but still beautiful in its final days. The drop lay still. For the first time, it touched the earth. Well, almost, and that felt strangely comforting. The leaf shivered slightly and spoke. "Hello there, little drop. You came from the sky, didn't you?" The drop nodded. "I fell, but I don't know where I'm going yet." The leaf smiled, calm like an old storyteller. "I was once a fresh green leaf too. I wanted to stay that way forever, but time passed. Sun scorched, wind blew, rain fell, and I changed." "Did it make you sad, turning yellow?" the drop asked. "No," the leaf said, "because I learned nothing lasts forever. Each leaf will fall one day, but if I can hold a little raindrop like you, then my life has meaning." The drop was quiet. Its heart felt warmer, even in the chill of autumn. The leaf continued. "One day, a breeze asked me, 'Do you regret leaving the branch?' I said no, because I've trembled in new sunlight, danced in spring rain, and caught the last light of August evenings. As long as you've truly lived, there's nothing to regret." The drop understood. Sometimes, even fading is part of something beautiful. From afar, the wind called again. Time to move on. The drop bowed to the yellow leaf. The leaf didn't speak, only quivered gently, like a silent farewell wave. And once again, the wind lifted the little drop, softly, as if it had never touched the earth. But now, it carried with it a gentle lesson. The wind carried the drop through pale skies, past swaying treetops and quiet branches. Suddenly, the breeze shifted. The drop spun slightly, then landed gently in a small nest lined with soft grass and twigs. Inside were 3 baby birds curling close together. They stirred at the touch of the cold drop. One chirped softly, "Peep." The drop gasped, "Oh no, I didn't mean to disturb." Then came a sound of wings. The mother bird returned. She looked at the drop for a moment. No anger, no blame, only calm. She spread her wing over her chicks and said gently, "You didn't disturb us. Rain is part of nature, and this nest is meant to hold gentle things." The drop blinked in surprise. "Do you know," the bird whispered, "rainy days make me hold them closer. They might feel cold, but love warms everything." One baby bird wriggled in her feathers. She smiled and added, "You don't need to be big to give warmth. Just being there, quietly, is enough." The drop softened. Maybe even something small can bring connection. Far away, the wind returned. It was time again. "Thank you," said the drop, "for letting me be here, even for a moment." The bird nodded and curled into her nest. The wind gently picked up the drop, and as it rose, the drop looked back at the little nest, now glowing softly like a home of love. It no longer felt alone. The wind carried the drop into a quiet meadow where only one flower stood. It was a small purple bloom, fragile and still, barely noticed among the tall grass. The drop landed softly on one of its petals. The flower trembled gently and whispered, "Oh, it's been a while since someone came to visit." "Do you live here alone?" the drop asked. The flower nodded. "Yes, always have." "Doesn't it get lonely?" "Sometimes," the flower said, "but I bloom anyway. Even if no one sees me, I still bloom, because that's who I am." The drop was quiet. The flower continued, "I used to wish I could grow where more eyes would see me, closer to the path, in a busy garden. But then I realized, if a drop of rain can find me here, then I am not unseen. You don't need to be in the spotlight to be worthy. Just existing, just blooming quietly is enough." The drop felt deeply moved. For the first time, it realized that even a place of solitude could be full of meaning. "I think you're beautiful," the drop said softly. The flower smiled. "Thank you. Even for a little while, it made me feel alive." The wind returned, brushing lightly. "Goodbye," the drop whispered. The flower didn't speak, only swayed gently in the breeze. And once again, the drop was lifted into the sky. But now it carried something new, a quiet, glowing warmth from the heart of someone who bloomed alone. The wind carried the drop gently forward until the sound of rushing water began to rise. Not calm, not quiet, but wild, crashing, swirling, tumbling. The drop hovered at the edge of a wide, fast-flowing stream. It trembled. "I don't want to go in there," it whispered. "I'll disappear. I'll lose myself." The wind paused. "I understand," it said softly, "but growth doesn't always come from calm waters." Then, with a tender push, the wind let go. The drop fell into the stream. Cold, strong, chaotic. It spun, tumbled, got pulled under, and rose again. There was no time to think, no time to breathe, just movement, relentless. The drop cried silently inside itself. "I want to go back. I want peace again." But there was no going back. Minutes passed, or maybe moments. It was hard to tell. Then something shifted. The stream slowed. The chaos softened. The drop stopped struggling and started listening. It saw smooth stones that had been shaped over time. It saw fish dancing against the current. It saw that even here, in the wildness, there was rhythm, there was life, and the drop was still here. "I haven't vanished," it realized. "I've just been moving differently." The stream whispered, let go of control, and you'll see you're still whole." As the stream gentled, the wind returned. "You did well," it said. "You didn't lose yourself. You found something deeper." The drop was quiet, but inside it felt stronger. It had entered afraid, but left more free. The drop, now resting on a still pool, began to feel warmth above. The sky had cleared, the clouds had parted. The sun rose slowly, spilling golden light across the world. The drop blinked in wonder. It had always feared the sun, thought it would vanish in its light. But this warmth was soft, embracing, not burning. The sunlight touched the drop, and in that moment, it refracted into a tiny, brilliant rainbow. No one saw it. No one applauded. But the drop knew. It had become something beautiful. The sun spoke, not with words, but with presence. "I'm not here to make you disappear. I'm here to help you shine." The drop shimmered. For the first time, it didn't try to be more. It simply allowed itself to be seen. The wind watched gently. "You've met the light," it said, "and it welcomed you just as you are." The drop sighed, a soundless breath of gratitude. It was no longer the same as when it began. It had fallen, wandered, feared, flowed, and now glowed. Evening came. The sun dipped behind the hills, and the warmth faded into a cool twilight hush. The drop felt itself change again, lighter, softer, almost not there. "I'm disappearing," it thought. But a voice, very gentle, answered, "No, you are becoming mist." The drop smiled, not a fading, but a transformation. It spread across the grass, wrapping every blade in a tender hug. It became part of the hush of the quiet night. No one saw, but the trees breathed easier, the flowers rested calmly, the world, for a while, felt gentler. The drop, now missed, understood. To be invisible doesn't mean to be unimportant. And with that, it floated upward, carried by cool night air, toward the stars, toward the sky, toward the sky. Night deepened, and the mist that once was a drop rose higher and higher, back to where it all began. The clouds opened their arms. The mother cloud welcomed her child. "You've come far," she whispered. The drop said nothing. It didn't need to, because the journey was complete. Not perfect, not without fear, but full. It had fallen, touched, loved, let go, shimmered, softened, and returned. And now it rested, not as it once was, but as all things become after they've truly lived. The sky held it, and below the world slept, ready for the next drop, ready for another story. And so, the story ends. Our little raindrop has returned home after a journey soft and deep. Maybe you too felt something shift within. Maybe your worries faded like mist. If you've already fallen asleep, rest well. And if you're still awake, let this peace stay with you a little longer. Thank you for listening. Sleep gently, dream softly, and remember, you are enough. Good night.